B1 family, welcome to Blacklogic. For far too long, a great majority of Black Americans have been letting people within the Africa diaspora to get off on being very disrespectful and cosplaying our culture while really speaking greasy in front of our face. And this has been a problem of ours for far too long. We have accepted people from other cultures, from other countries who resemble our likeness, and we resemble their likeness because we understand that we all are from African descent. But when it comes to achievements, personal accomplishment, as you notice, they state who and what they are. I'm Nigerian, I'm Jamaican, I'm Trinidadian, I'm Ghanaian, so on and so forth. But when it comes to the flight and the plight that Black Americans have in this country, we don't see the supporting, we don't see the backing of any of our causes. We don't see any assistance from these other groups. But continually, we accept them with open arms. Even though they have been sent here, a great majority, not all, to replace us, just as though the great replacement theory south of the border. Now that people are saying these things coming to fruition, they believe as though this is all of a sudden. No, this has been playing for a very, very long time, family. Slowly but surely. But we have people that tell Black Americans we don't have any culture. We're just a bunch of pimps, drug dealers, and gang members, baby mothers, single mothers, baby fathers inside of jails, and that we only commit crimes. See, we don't just have white people stating that we are lazy, we're the scum of the earth, we're the criminal class. No. We don't just have Hispanics say that we are lazy, the scum of the earth, the criminal class. No, but we have those who resemble and share some of the same blood that is not of our lineage to degrade us and speak down to us as though we have not paid our way, that our ancestors didn't put in the work, the blood, the sweat, and all of those that we have lost through genocide. Now, when it comes to this first person here, family, I want to get right to it because this guy comes as, how does Emmanuel Aro really come up? How does he somehow blend in as a Black American? Well, if you guys didn't know about him, he is a former NFL linebacker. I know that he played for the Eagles. So Nigerians are the closest that resemble Black Americans, right? Some of them or most of them have good hairlines, so to speak. Body structures are very similar. So a lot of them can cosplay Black Americans more than any other group, just looking at our composition, okay? Maybe some Ghanaians here and there, but mostly Nigerians. But this is one of the most disrespectful groups in America. I'm not stating that all Nigerians are Sambos. I'm not stating that all Nigerians are on the side of people like Emmanuel Aro. Not all Nigerians believe that Black Americans are Akatas. But there's been a great many publicly that come out and say such things against us and our culture. And some of them do understand, and a lot of them do know the history of our forefathers fighting for civil rights and equal rights and justice in this country. But you'll have people like him to hide behind the guise of white privilege. What do I mean by that? Because he's definitely not white. He created a platform a while ago. I don't know if he still holds these episodes called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. And on this particular platform, he gave white people an opportunity to explain their discriminatory, racist, and bigoted actions against Black folk. But let me first serenade you with this introduction of Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. because he may woo and sue you. So I'll at least give him the opportunity to do just that.
Hopefully many episodes of uncomfortable conversations with the Black man. In the midst of all this chaos in our world, so many of y'all have reached out to me, and by y'all, I mean white people, have reached out to me asking, how can I help? How can I join in? How can I stand with you? So I've created this for you. Because in order to stand with us and people that look like me, you have to be educated on issues that pertain to me, and fully educated so that you can feel the full level of pain, so that you can have full understanding. I fervently believe that if the white person is your problem, only the white person can be your solution. And so this is made for you, my white brothers and sisters, to increase your level of understanding so that you can increase your level of compassion and lead ultimately to change. So consider this a safe space to answer so many questions that I've seen from y'all. The first question I've seen a lot of, Emmanuel, why are y'all rioting? I understand protesting, but why riot? And to that I submit this. MLK said that rioting is the language of the unheard. For years, Black people have tried peacefully protesting, going back to 1965 and before with the Selma March, and that didn't work. And then in 2016, Colin Kaepernick, he took a knee, and that agenda got moved to a flag, which was never the goal. He just wanted to raise awareness on social injustice. So that didn't work. And so now we've seen riots because Black people and hurt people are trying to get the attention of the oppressor. They're trying to raise awareness of the oppression. I was biking around Lake Austin the other day, and there was a white girl about 15 meters ahead of me. And as I'm on my bike, I say to her, on your left, because I want to notify her I'm coming so that she can change her course of action. I get 10 meters away and I increase my voice, on your left, because she had yet to move. I get 5 meters away and she's still there, and I say, on your left, because I realize if she doesn't change her course of action, there will be a collision. And as I approach her, I yell, on your left, and we collide. My goal was never to hit her.
Okay, my question here, family, is now I didn't mean to stop it. And I know he's trying to give a metaphor, analogy, and prove a point here, and I'm going to let him finish. But why didn't he just slow down? Just questioning it.
But because she had her headphones in, she didn't hear me, and so she didn't change her course of action. I believe that that's the same thing Black people are doing now. 1960s, we're yelling, we're oppressed. But the course of action wasn't changed. And so we again yell, we're oppressed, but the course of action wasn't changed. And so again we yell, we're oppressed. And now you see the collision that's occurred in America. So while I don't condone rioting, and I'm sure you don't either, because for the most part, Black people and others that are looting and rioting destructively, they're burning down their own homes. But when you think about the 5 different stages of grief, you come up to one stage, which is called anger.
All right. So I wanted to play that. So Emmanuel Aro, Nigerian, by the way. So he can serenade you and impress you with his intellect, his charisma, his presence, his peace of mind, and that the way he emphatically speaks about Black people, right? But this is how they present the best of that white privilege shield class. To create a platform for they can explain their ways out of things. Because here's something I want you to take with you guys. This particular platform, Uncomfortable Conversation with a Black Man, it might have garnered millions of views and even some praise. But let's peel back the layers. What's the real message here, right? What is the real message here for this platform and how this guy has been attacking Black culture and Black people? Oh, you guys may not be aware of that. You guys may not be aware of that, okay? But see, his platform serves as a convenient stage for white folks to showcase their wokeness and without truly challenging their own biases. It's like giving a pat on the back to those who engage in performative allyship with letting them off the hook for their complicity and systematic racism. This is what he has done. He has serenaded the ears of Black Americans, all the while providing a platform for white people to spew their racist views and to give excuses on why they should not be judged by such. Because Akko's approach is simple. Let white people come on, explain their perspectives, and call it a day. But where's the accountability? He never checks them. He never takes it on the chin like he said about Angel Reese. He didn't do that. Where's the challenge to dismantle the structures that withhold white supremacy? Instead, it's a cozy chat followed by a round of applause from his predominantly white audience who go back to their lives unchanged, unaffected, and goddamn it, unchallenged to even think differently about black folk. Because on one hand, family, you got a racist, and on the second hand, you have a bigot. Which is worse? Which is worse? And let's not ignore the fact that Acho conveniently skirts around the issues of reparations for foundational Black Americans. See, family, a lot of times people don't want to play the strong card. They don't want to play the rough card. What am I talking about? When you have another Black American or you have other people in the Black African diaspora and you ask them about reparations and they are against reparations, or they have white supremacy's ideology or white people's privilege views about certain things, and everybody's worrying about taxes, but nobody's worrying about taxes for Russia. Nobody's worrying about taxes for the foreign budget. Nobody's worrying about taxes for Israel. No one's worried about taxes with Ukraine. No one's worried about taxes when everybody else is getting the support, the benefit, and the resources that they seek from this government, even on a state level. We show kind, wholeheartedness, compassion for other groups more than those who foundationally built the country. We have more great people than any Black other country in the world. If you think it's divisive, then take it to the chin. We have more great Black Americans than any other Black group in the world. Prove me wrong. From our civil rights leaders, from our inventors, from our engineers, for everything that we have done, not just for America, family, but for the entire world. People are not going to like this. I know. Family, if you notice, I really lay hands off the whole African diaspora war and how other groups from the Caribbean, other groups from Africa view Black Americans. I've really been laying low on that, but not anymore. This is the one that I want to explode because I want you to listen to this, how he speaks in a vernacular, in a lexicon, the one that shakes your hands and stabs you in the back, so to speak.
A gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you because you were the second best basketball player on the court and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20. Dog. Showed up. Biggest game, second biggest game of your career. Absolute dog. But I'm about to give a...
Don't you guys hate those underhanded comments where they're praising you, but they're degrading you at the same time? That's why I state, when you listen to Emmanuel Aro, understand a couple of things here. The brother is educated, but at the same time, this brother's views and perspective are not that of a Black Americans, even though he's been in America for a very long time. Don't forget, a lot of these non-Black American groups stay within their own communities, just like Asians, and they feed off each other and they come up with perspective and views that are defamatory to Black Americans. I don't know if this is a jealousy thing. Probably is. Is a lack of information? Probably is. Is a lack of them knowing our history and lineage? It probably is. But none of these people, whether it be non-Black Americans or others, they don't take the time to learn who and what we are and why we think the way we think. They just respond. They just open their damn mouth speaking very disrespectfully, but everyone is stating how smart this group of people is and that group of people. How are all these smart people not understanding why the fuck foundational Black Americans are in the condition that we are in? How is it that? How is it that, family? That's what I want to know. Let me show you this. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with this. This was very, very powerful because this brother on your left, I forgot his name, Van, I believe, he broke down Emmanuel Aro in a very articulate, intelligent manner, because not only did he tell Emmanuel Aro who and what he is, but he also broke down how he goes about his anti-Blackness, his anti-Blackness against Black Americans. Listen, family, very important. I don't want to lead you to the water, but I do want you to ride the horse.
Over Black Americans.
I know why they say that, because I've been in them rooms when they saying that. When I kick it with Black people and they're like, all white people are racist. I know why you're saying that. All the while, I have the privilege and luxury of not having generational trauma because my parents were born in Nigeria. So man, my method is removing some of the sting because I don't have that sting and trying to deliver a message in a manner that people can receive it. Primarily white people.
Okay, let me tell you why what you just said offends me.
Okay.
All right. Oh, fam, you got to be ready for this. Just get your ears, hearts, minds ready for this response, because Emmanuel Aro stated that because his parents were born in Nigeria, he doesn't have that generational hurt that Black people wear sometimes as a cape, sometimes as a badge of honor, sometimes our wombs. He said he doesn't have that experience. But listen to his brother Van, how he checked them and broke things down. And this will help you to get a clear and a more concise view and perspective of how a lot of people in non-Black American communities who share our same skin tone think about who we are and what we are.
First of all, there are a couple of things. I grew up South Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All my classmates were white. I was in the gifted program. All of my classmates were white from the beginning. McKinley High School, gifted program, McKinley High, 80% Black school, gifted program, all white. Vans in the class with them, Vans in the class, Vans playing basketball and sports and everything else with the Black kids. Mama from South Baton Rouge, all of that. I understand the being pulled between two worlds. I understand the having the insight into two worlds. You saying that you don't have generational trauma, and you didn't mean it this way, but the reason, and it's, I have to name it, you saying that you don't have any generational trauma in some way meaning, or that in some way meaning that your delivery method to white people is going to be either more effective or more sanitized is, to me, dangerous. And let me tell you why. Everybody that you just named and what you're talking about does what they do in different ways. I don't think that any of the things that they do are necessarily harmful. But what I could say is a Black man, a prominent one, acting as an emotional butler for white people and serving them the most milquetoast, unspicy, unseasoned brand of racial discourse and accountability possible could definitely be harmful, because of what it does. I saw episodes where you were on there with Matthew McConaughey, and Matthew McConaughey out and out said, when will Black Lives Matter end? He goes, well, when is it going to be time for it to be over? But that's an outrageous question to ask at the time that he's sitting down with you. And it's an outrageous question to posit when we're going to be able to say all lives matter after everyone just watched George Floyd get his head blown off, I watched you also sit down with the police.
Did you say my response?
In the conversation with the police that I watched you have, there was nothing tangible that addressed the systemic issues of policing that lead to unfair and deadly outcomes all over the country. It was about whether or not the police liked black people, whether or not they were nice to black people, and even, as I wrote it down, the police are human too. Emmanuel, who gives a fuck? Like, we're fighting for our lives. And to me, having a conversation like that at that particular time, it's not that it's a different method. Everybody has a different method. Is that it's the wrong method, is that it gives cover for a lot of the issues that you're supposed to be discussing. Roger Goodell's on the show. I watched the whole interview with Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell is talking about Colin Kaepernick in the past tense. Colin Kaepernick right now is fighting to get back in the NFL. If the NFL cared about Colin Kaepernick or what was going on in his life, Roger Goodell could be an agent of change now. You get the opportunity to talk to him, and the fact that he's speaking about a man like that in the past tense is just simply never broached. And when I'm watching it, I know that you have the best of intentions. You're a good guy. My question is, what the fuck is the point of all this? Is it to make them feel better about all of these things that are going on? Like, for what? Like, why? Like, why are you talking to someone and there's zero call to action? It's just, now I'm going to go be a better person. It just don't work that way.
Is this rhetorical or is it actually a question? Be answered.
Nigga, is rhetorical. Ain't no response for that. Ain't no response for that. Man, let's call a spade a spade. His so-called brand of activism, Emmanuel Aro, is more about appeasing white guilt than dismantling white supremacy. Can I say that again? Emmanuel Aro's activism is more about appeasing white guilt than dismantling white supremacy. It's about making white folks feel comfortable with leaving black folks behind. That's what that's about. That's what this brother was talking about. The way he goes about speaking to white folk about black issue is dangerous because he's providing a platform for white voices to dominate the conversation on race. That's what people are not understanding. That is what the brother was stating, and it gives them a pass. No more passes, not for anyone. Anyone. I have white friends, Hispanic friends, African friends, but it really doesn't matter because those who are against foundational Black Americans, now I'm on, ooh, Lord. Let me back up. I just wanted to point that out, fam, because it is very powerful that we really, really be more on code with one another and start calling out this disrespect. Because again, he's providing a platform for white voices to dominate the conversation on race. And he effectively silences black voices and perpetuates the idea that only white perspectives matter. It's a form of erasure disguised as progress. Think about that. You're not having any other black person on the platform when these black people are so-called having an uncomfortable conversations with a black man. They're not having an uncomfortable conversation with a black man, not a Black American man. You see, family, now let's throw in lineage. Now let's throw in, there's no pain, there's no suffering that he has been through. Constant years of racial profiling, being falsely accused and persecuted, even to this day. Not our ancestors, not our forefathers, but us. When you drive by the police, there's anxiety there. Where's that anxiety come from? You've never done anything wrong, or that people saw, but nonetheless, why is that anxiety there as though you are guilty? I mean, you pay your car note, you got your car insurance, you got your lights on, you use your blinker. But for some reason, a lot of black people that I ask, do you feel any different sort of energy when you see or drive by the police? 9 out of 10 say yes. So are we just making these things up? Absolutely not. Because we have brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins, nephews, so on and so forth, that have been harmed by race soldiers with badges. So we got to be very careful of non-Black Americans as well as Black Americans who use the guise of white acceptance by the way of privilege that doesn't share our same lineage, but shake our hands and stab us in our backs.
I feel like Africans do get made fun of a lot. Like
Yeah.
in school,
Yeah,
growing up,
definitely.
I got made fun of a lot. Like I got bullied for being
That-
African.
That can also create the animosity.
Mhm.
towards
Yeah.
Black
The animosity,
Americans,
that's
because
definitely
the
real.
bullying, like your name and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, we didn't know no better. We joke on each other. It's a part of our culture to make fun of stuff that may be serious, but to make the light out of it.
Because that's part of our culture, and Africans don't necessarily know that because obviously they have their own culture. So they looking at it like,
more respect.
yeah, they looking at it as, oh, that's super disrespectful. When we looking at it like, yo, it's just a joke. It's really not that deep. Like,
Yeah, we'll hug it out and laugh that joke.
Yeah,
You just can't say SMD. That's it.
Now, family, this is a part of the reasoning that a lot of African and Caribbean immigrants state this is the reason why they don't like Black Americans, because when they went to our schools, when they were young, we talk bad about them. And I'm like, we talk bad about everybody. If you come to school, first day of school, with some high waters on and some penny loafers and sweat socks, you're going to get talked about. It don't matter where you from, but this is the lame excuse that Black immigrants, okay, African and Caribbean immigrants, gave foundational Black Americans as an excuse of the reason of their resentment and hate and jealousy of our culture and of our people. This is what they said. This is what they said. Tana Marie states, generational trauma. Sir, your people are traumatized in Nigeria. Absolutely correct. Family, I've been to a few African countries. And unfortunately, they are not running their country. Yes, they have figureheads. Yes, they have a cabinet. Yes, they have a parliament. Yes, they have a president. Yes, they have a king and queen and chiefs, etc. Yeah, they have all forms of government, and the people in place, the people in position look just like them. But they are not controlling their country economically, and they are not controlling their country socially. Without social economics, without economic socially, then what type of country do you have? Who is actually running the country if there's another group outside of your people who run your country financially? Then tell me what that is. You have other countries' influence that's controlling the laws in your country as well. And I'm not just speaking about Nigeria, so family, don't get me wrong. As I stated, this is not to every African and Caribbean person. It's to those who know who the hell they are. As soon as we speak or we speak up or we fight back or we have some accomplishment, here comes a hater. That's what I'm talking about. People don't understand the sacrifices that Black Americans have made, because as Douglas stated, we fought in every single war this country has ever fought in. Truth. Truth. Now, on this next one, our brother got a wake-up call, and I think, our brother, he may be on the other side of things. You can tell by his mannerisms. I'll say that. He's on the other side of things. But listen to the message this brother tell you guys.
Very true. Very, very true. When I first moved to Miami and started working, I was encountering Haitians and Jamaicans, and I can't really tell the difference. I just know y'all dark, y'all some island folks, but they really do not be fucking with American black folks like that. Like they're just like, especially if you're like good looking or like tall or you carry yourself well, like you put together. They're like, I'm just like, I don't know where this hate is coming from. I don't understand. Maybe it's some historical shit that I don't know, but that's new. That is another one that was new for living here.
So like the brother got a wake-up call. And a lot of us are getting wake-up calls. Let me tell you why, family. A lot of us have dated people from the Caribbean. A lot of us have dated people from Africa. And a lot of them are cool people. A lot of them are great people, especially when you're dating, because it's more of a romantic nature. But you get them outside of sexual access, whether it be with us or us with them. If you get out of that romantic era, that arena of romance, and you look at them in their own communities that they've built in America, then comes the insults. Then comes the degrading. Then comes the disrespect, because this country has used the backs of blacks to build its foundation. And we created a path for other black people from countries. And as this country gives them incentives and resources and money, they would tell us, oh, no, they don't give us money. We know they give you money. It's in our laws. It's in our legislations when immigrants come over here. That's why you keep coming over here. Why would a group of people from other countries continue to go to a country if you're not receiving anything? Or it's because there's more opportunities. Create the opportunities in your own countries. Where do you think these opportunities came from? Where do they think that these opportunities came from? Listen in on the Asian lady.
Bro, this is not the flex that you think it is. You're just showing how much you don't understand how the United States uses immigrants from any country of any skin color as a wedge against the Black American community, and that you don't see how effective anti-Black disinformation and misinformation is at getting immigrants to align themselves with whiteness, which history is full of examples of when this has been done to the detriment of Asians. And while we're on the topic, both communities have diaspora wars and have conflict between their genders. And who do you think is benefiting from that, if that's not also about getting people to align with whiteness against their own self-interest? Bro, this is not
that was really well spoken. I'm not going to even go against it. Okay, I'm not even going against it. But there's a lot to call out, especially from these other groups. But we're about to change gears here, family. We're about to change gear, and we're going to talk about Kai. I haven't been aware of Kai. I think I've became aware of him around a year and a half ago or something. And I'm pretty sure I saw him, but his material, I didn't even pay attention to it because it looked very childish and kiddish. But he came out publicly and stated during a live stream that Black Americans are uncultured, basically stating that we don't have a culture. Like, if you're uncultured, then you don't have a culture. And he said this, what seems to be in a verbal dispute with one of his people in the live chat. He said something, but he went on a whole rant about this. And then I also have a video where he kind of explained his way, or try to explain his way, so he doesn't lose Black American viewers. But you know what? Let's go to that. Let's go to what he said on the live stream. Listen in.
Cultured at all. Stop dick riding. I don't want to hear, like, when I'm asking general questions, are not cultured at all. Stop dick riding. I don't want to hear, like, when I'm asking general questions, I'm not asking y'all niggas. Stop dick riding. Y'all niggas is black. You're black. You're just black!
Just be yourself and hit them with hey. Also, I just found the Anarchy hoodie yesterday. Can't wait. Finna resubscribe in a little W female viewer. Big 2 months December 9th.
Thank you so much. Bro, you're just fully American. You're African American, bro. That's it. How was that see you in 30? That wasn't an insult. That was strictly, you're black. You're not Trinidadian. You're not Jamaican. You're not African. You're not, word. You're not Ghanaian. You're not Dominican. You're not Puerto Rican. You're not Cuban. You are American.
I farted so loud.
God.
Now, family, this brother went on a whole tyrant about how Black Americans are uncultured. And a lot of people, of course, have been coming out against this. And there have been people from his particular group who have been splaining for him. I want you guys to listen to this very quickly.
The truth is, Cashapp was right. But you bandwagoners, the people that hear what you want to hear because you want to make a video for hits, was wrong.
Cashapp said African Americans have no culture.
That's not what he said.
Cashapp sitting here saying that Black Americans not having a culture. And listen, this is coming from a Haitian American man, right?
Ou même ça, King Jinty, kol parle kol comprend immédiatement, s'il vous plaît.
Now, you know I wasn't going to let her on her little tyrant and speaking in whatever language of the colonizer or whatever the case. Most of the language are from colonizers anyway. But she was basically defending Kai. Yet he didn't state that Black Americans don't have culture. He said that Black Americans are uncultured, which basically means the same thing, right? At this point, you're just splitting hairs, which she was stating. That's what she was stating, family. So I have no idea why she was trying to explain for him. I have no idea. But Cashapp had the audacity to spew out trash about us being uncultured. Did he just step out of a time machine from the 1800s? Because we are the culture. Because last time I checked, coming from him and his community, this ain't the era of misguided stereotypes and baseless generations. Black Americans are the culture. The way people talk, the way people walk, the way people do their hair, they got it from Black Americans. It's okay. Anytime people from other groups achieve, accomplish, invent, we give them praise, but we don't hate. We either give them praise or we ignore it, but we don't hate. Man, hey, man, good job, man. Good looking out for your people. That's who we are, and that's what we are. But when we tell people the things that we have done, when we tell people the things that we do, then there's a problem. Let's break it down for a second. Cashapp, right? He's not a Black American. His family is from Trinidad or Jamaica or something like that. And that's cool, right? Diversity makes the world spicy. But don't you dare come at Black Americans with being uncultured nonsense. And yeah, I know you kind of retracted your statements, but I'm still going to touch on it. Because you benefit, you profit, your very platform, hip hop, the sort of persona that you're giving your audience is Black American culture. You're out here sipping on the very essence of Black American culture like it's your morning cup of coffee. No. A lot of Black immigrants in America would not be successful without Black Americans because we're the ones who have and who is creating opportunities for people in general, even to our detriment, because we believe if we create opportunities, if we believe we pound the pavement, if we believe we lobby, if we believe that we can create and change laws, that it will better Black America. But what happens is, because we live in a system of white supremacy, it benefits more non-Black people than it does Black. We've learned a lot of not mentioning Black Americans in legislation. We've learned a lot. That very phrase, oh, but it will address the majority of your population because the way that it's written. No, 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 and no. Everybody else gets their name in the paper. When the Asian Americans got a anti-hate crime bill, they said Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That's who got it. That's who got it. When Barack Obama gave a million acres of land to a Native American Indian tribe, he named that particular Indian tribe. When Barack Obama and Joe Biden gave the Holocaust survivors millions of dollars so they can live a better life here in America, did they just say the people? No, they explicitly and specifically named Holocaust survivors of Jewish descent. Because if you want to talk culture, Kai, let's talk about how you're dressing like a Black American, talking like one of us, making bank off of hip hop, which last time I checked is a Black American as it get, as well as country, as well as rock and roll, R&B, the blues, you name it. But yeah, Black American culture doesn't exist, or Black Americans are uncultured, even though they are the culture. I guess the joke's on us, right? Because when we look about family, when we think about culture, right? Culture ain't just about entertaining people. It's about much more than that. It's about family. What have your people done? What groundwork have your people done? That celebrity form that Black Americans have created an integrity of the things that we have achieved. What have our people done? We've innovated, we created, we've invented things. We've civilized America. But they will have you to believe that we're the criminal class of America. You ever heard of a color monitor? Black American. The very screen that you guys are looking on right now was created by a Black American. Just that alone. The microphone, a Black American. A Black American who invented and created a procedure and machine to correct cataracts, a Black American. Yeah, we're not just bouncing balls, we're not just catching balls, and we're not just hitting balls. We're creating the ball. We are the ball. So, Kai, before you spouting off about who's culture and who's not, maybe take a good hard look in the mirror and recognize the shoulders you're standing on. Because whether you like it or not, Black American culture isn't just alive and thriving. It's the very heartbeat and innovation and creativity and resilience of America. Know who the hell you're talking to. Because you're not talking to us. You're not talking to us, Kai. This is why. James Edward West. This is why. This is why. A Black American inventor who co-invented the condenser microphone. Without this gentleman, I wouldn't have the opportunity to speak inside of this microphone. Let's move on because we're so uncultured. Yeah. You can take the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, right? You can take all our great football players. Yeah, entertainment, rap stars, all the way. No, let's talk about culture because I have an important question for any non-foundational Black American who hate on us simply because who we are. Simply because we're fighting for what's right for ours in reparations, and you're against it because you came over this country so-called with nothing, but the American government gave you subsidies and resources and benefits and checks to help you along the way. But now you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, and your family, that's the only thing they were raised, and you have this tradition and you have this culture and blah, 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 blah. But you come over here and speak out against us. but you don't even know who the fuck we are. This is who we are. We're the ones who created the microphone, the very microphone that you use on your cell phone, the very microphone that you use separately from your computer, the very microphone that's embedded in your laptop. Shout out to Foundational Black Americans. Louis Ladimer, who created the light bulb. He created the very filament within the light bulb. And matter of fact, let's go check this out.
We're enslaved. We still, black people, have over 50,000 patents. We created almost everything in the house. The modern refrigerator, the modern toilet, the modern doorknob was created by Foundational Black Americans. The light bulb. When they try to say that a black person helped a white person, that means the black person did it himself.
That's a fact.
The light bulb.
Now he goes on more about the light bulb. Shout out to our brother Tariq. It states here, if you look very above, family, it says black people invented everything. They really believe this, the level of delusion. Yeah, we didn't invent everything, but man, we sure did invent a whole hell of a lot. We sure have invented a whole hell of a lot, family, and they don't like it. Let me move on. Now, this is going to hit home for a lot of you who know about Blacklogic. I love shouting out a lot of our greats that people may not be aware of. Emmett McHenry. Why is this young man so important to Foundational Black Americans? Why is this young man so important to the internet? You know why? Because he's the one who invented the internet. He's the one who invented the internet. What about our sister Patricia Bath? What about our sister Patricia Bath, family? Discovered and invented a new device and technique for cataract surgery known as laser phaco. It states that Dr. Bath was the first woman ophthalmologist to be appointed to the faculty of the University of California at Los Angeles School of Medicine. That's what our people do. Another Foundational Black American. She paved the way for people to get corrective eye surgery, LASIK surgery. She paved the way by creating another one. This is Black Americans being uncultured, right? Marion Van Brown, another one of our sisters. What did she create? She invented the first home security system. This is our sister right here, Marion Van Brown, another Foundational Black American. Now, this is the one I love. There's a movie out there, family, that's on Vivian Thomas. Now, this brother right here, very intelligent, very humble brother, because he went about things in a very charismatic way. He knew his position. He knew his intelligence. He knew that he would never get the recognition, but he will forever be in our history books as one of the great medical doctors that this world has ever seen, that this world has ever known of. I'm going to read a little bit of this, family. I have to. This is one of my icons, okay? I never wanted to be a medical doctor, but this is one of my icons. Vivian Thomas? Are you kidding me? Foundational Black American? Cultured as hell? Dr. Vivian Thomas was born in Lake Providence, Louisiana in 1910, the grandson of a slave. Vivian Thomas attended Pearl High School in Nashville and graduated with honors in 1929. In the wake of the stock market crash in October, he secured a job as a laboratory assistant in 1930 with Dr. Alfred Blaylock at Vanderbilt University. Okay? They go on about the research and the work that they entwine themselves in. The work later evolved into research on Crust syndrome and saved the lives of thousands of soldiers on the battlefields of World War II. This is one of the things that Vivian Thomas, under this other doctor, was working on. It stated that Blaylock and Thomas began experimental work in vascular and cardiac surgery to find medical taboos against operating upon the heart. It was this work that laid the foundation for the revolutionary lifestyle surgery that were to perform at Johns Hopkins a decade later. By 1940, the work Blaylock had done with Thomas placed him at the forefront of American surgery. And when he was offered the position of chief of surgery at his alma mater, Johns Hopkins, in 1941, he requested that Thomas accompany him. So in 1943, while pursuing his shock research, Blacklogic was approached by a renowned pediatric cardiologist, Dr. Helen Toss. I'm messing up all these words, family. So I'm going to try to get through this as painless as possible. Who was seeking a surgical solution to a complex and fatal 4-part heart anomaly called that right there, also known as blue baby syndrome. Okay, blueberry syndrome. It stated that Thomas was charged with the task of first creating a blue baby-like condition, a cyanosis, in a dog, then correctly conditioned by means of the pulmonary to subclavian autonomous in nearly 2 years of laboratory work. Long story short, they tested all these things on these dogs with the blue baby syndrome just so he can reverse the procedure and fix it. So during the first procedure in 1944, Thomas stood on a step stool behind Blacklogic, coaching him through the procedure. So Vivian Thomas was coaching Dr. Blacklogic, the white doctor, through a procedure. And family, Vivian Thomas never became a medical doctor. They wouldn't allow it during this time. And it stated that Thomas received no mention, and in Blacklogic's writings, he was never credited for his role. And he done all these great things, family, and never got the recognition. But we recognize him for his great work and his life-saving techniques. Moses West. Moses West, family. One of our present-day inventors who has sacrificed so much for foundational Black Americans. He went to Flint, Michigan. He went to Jackson, Mississippi, to name a couple, to provide potable drinking water. How did he do that? Did he go to the nearest Walmart? Did he go to the nearest Walmart and buy hundreds of bottles of water? Did he go to Kroger, Food Lion, Safeway, Albertson? Where did he go? He created the atmospheric water generator. The ADWE is a machine that turns moisture from the air into clean drinking water. West developed the technology for the military, which allowed them to produce water from the air wherever they are located. Foundational Black American. Oh, you bastards, you're so uncultured. West Machine uses mechanical techniques to efficiently pull moisture out of the air, consuming less energy than pulling water from the ground. His goal is to provide clean, affordable drinking water to people in need. Only a Black man, family, only a Black man will make something out of nothing. I mean, we know that the water exists in the moisture in the air, but in order to extract and make a machine, so you can have water anywhere in the world. You can have potable drinking water anywhere in the world. It reminds me of another person. It reminds me of the infamous and famous George Washington Carver. He also was an inventor for the military. He invented soybean. And what do we get from soybean, family? We get plastic. So a lot of Black Americans have normalized, civilized this country and this world. These inventions are not solely grounded in Black American, solely grounded in America, because these inventions have changed the world. The light bulb, the gas mask, the 3 traffic light, and all of these procedures that all of our great Black Americans have done. Marion Van Braun with the home security system. One of my favorites, Emmett McHenry with creating the internet. Mark Dean, our brother Mark Dean, who worked for IBM, who created the color printer. And the list goes on and on and on of all the innovative technology and creativity that we've done with limited resources, being oppressed, being left behind. Look at the great things that we have done. But we will still have people from other groups, Cashapp, Emmanuel Aro, and many, many others, to tell us we have no culture as they are living it up in our culture. And not knowing who the hell we are. Shout out to everybody who joined me this evening. I see my warrior brother DSB, Tana Marie, Affectionate Earth, Douglas Sullivan. I see some of your comments, family. Bulls fan 25, Jennifer Lewis, Basham, Patricia Jones. Shout out to all you, Charlie Shaw. Bath that's not fat. Oh, okay. Whatever that is. And good old Solid Snake. Thank you all for joining me this evening. This was not an attack, family, to non-Black Americans. This wasn't an attack on African immigrants or African or Caribbeans. This will call out the Sambos and Coons within their community who have these platforms or who have this influence and positions where they seem as though that they are on top and they can speak down to us as a group. Some of them know who we are, so that it's been straight disrespectful and undermining of who and what we are and what we have done. And I'm not calling for any further friction. I'm calling for the disrespect to stop. Because if not, Black Americans going to go, anytime we do something, we do it to the fullest. We're going to be more disrespectful. You think us cracking jokes was mean? Keep fucking with us. Keep telling us we're uncultured. Keep telling us we have no culture. Keep telling us we're lazy. Keep on. I dare you. Let this shit keep going on and see how Black Americans respond. This is not a threat. This is not a warning. I'm just stating caution. Proceed with caution. Be one.